Hello, class, and welcome to our sixth lecture series on microeconomics. And I'm your instructor, Dr. Jamal. Okay, today we are starting a new chapter, and this is cost of production. So, up till now, what we have learned the basics of microeconomics, in which we talk about the 10 principles and the basics of economics. Then we talk about the 10 principles, and then we segregated the one branch, microeconomics specifically. And then we talk about the power of market demand, and then we talked about power of market supply. What happened when these forces strike one another, equilibrium, and then we talked about the how much, in quantity terms, that if we change the price, how much in quantity, like in and that if we increase or decrease the price, how much we can be affected, or how much our sales going to be affected. So, and we had our assignment 2, which is due on tomorrow. So today we will further extend our study and we dive deep into the world of microeconomics, in which we talk about specifically firm, single firm, how a firm choose its prices and how firm choose to maximize its profit. So this is very important for your personal business as well, family business as well, also for your job related knowledge as well. So even if somebody wants to set up its own business, even then this chapter specifically is very important for him or her. Okay, so before we dive into this one, so we have the announcement that we talked about in our last lecture as well. Our midterm is going to be on 1st of November after completing this chapter. Okay, so I have already uploaded the practice material for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4 and 5. So please go and practice the questions, and it is already uploaded on BB as well, Blackboard as well. Okay, so you can download from there as well. I also uploaded in the group. You can also download from the group as well. So it's up to you. Okay, so please book your date 1st of November. If you are doing job or something, please do not book your commitments on 1st of November, because I'm not going to be taking makeup midterm. Why? Because midterm is just 30%. 30% are of your assignments, and 30% is your final, and 10% your class participation. Okay, so if you miss this one, you still have 70% to catch up. Okay, so please book your appointment next to 1st November. Don't book anything, because on 1st of November we will be having our midterm. Okay, so what we talk about the microeconomics. Micro is basically coming from a Greek word micro, which means small. So microeconomics is a branch of economics that study the behavior of individual and small impacting organizations, not the big organizations like Ford Motors, or like similarly like Tesla or iPhone, Apple companies, because they are too big and their actions affect the whole market on broader scale. So only small impacting. So that's why this is a keyword here: small impacting firm, like a small firm operating on on your neighborhood. A very small firm, we have 10 employees, 100 employees. That's it. Okay. So in making decisions on allocation of limited resources, that how much we have to produce this much product or this much quantity of the product, or the pen or glasses or whatsoever, right? So typically microeconomics, it applies to market where goods and services are bought and sold. All right. And remember, on smaller scale. And macro we discussed, it looks the economy as a whole. Remember our last three principles of economics, in which we talk about, income level, net inflation level, market as a whole, right? We talk about macroeconomic variables, unemployment, remember, recall your discussion over there in which we talk about, unemployment rises if unemployment decreases when short-term inflation rises, right? So, but this is not the area of our discussion here. Just for your, we're just quenching your thirst regarding macroeconomics. Macro, the branch of economics that examines the economic behavior of aggregates like income, employment, output, and so on bigger scale, broader scale, national scale. A very nice comparison here, that is, microeconomics looks at individual units, like it seems and examines the trees, while macroeconomics looks at a whole, which means it sees and analyzes the forest. Okay, so let's examine the trees. So we are on micro level. Let's discuss. So cost of production is basically a part of industrial organizations or industrial economics. So remember, who creates the demand? Buyers. And who creates supply? Suppliers. So now this cost of production is basically supplier's perspective. The chapter that we are discussing here, it's a part of industrial economics or industrial organizations, in which we talk about how firms decide about the price and quantity to produce depending on market conditions they face. Either they have to make 100 units, or either 10,000 units, or either 1 million units to sell, right? So how much they have to produce, and in order to sell those, how much price they need to charge. So we discuss in this chapter. Okay, so please answer this question. According to the law of supply, so please do not scan this right now because it's not logged on here. So any one of you, according to law of supply, please answer it. Venetia, Cameroon, Priscillo, Nicholas, Sufyan, Tom, Oliver.
Yeah, I agree with C. Where demand.
Right, well done. Answer is C. Good. So I didn't the answer here, so don't see that answer is C. Okay. So what we learned according to law of supply, when price higher, quantity supplied also higher. So as a producer, now from now on, think of yourself as supplier, producer, or seller. Right? So remember the law of supply. If price increases, you wanna produce more to supply more to the market in order to cash the higher price. And when your price is higher, you sell more, your profit will be higher. So that's a layman decision. So after learning this chapter, you're thinking about when price is higher, quantity supply is higher, this law of supply is going to be, changed from your mind. So we'll talk about that. Sometimes when price is higher, even though you are producing more, but selling more is basically reducing your profit. We'll see that. So, but on other things equal and on a micro level, because we're talking about microeconomics, law of supply does hold. So we know that law of supply or supply curve is upward sloping. Law of supply, it follows the law of supply as well. When price was 1, you are selling 1 quantity of ice cream. When price is 3, you are selling 5 quantities of ice creams and you are willing to supply. Okay, so now tell me, what's the firm's objective? Firms can have many objectives, quality objective, right? To be the #1 quality producer in overall the world. To be good, market leaders, market share leaders. But economic objective or goal of every firm is to maximize the profit. All right? There could be many goals, social goals, ethical goals, marketing goals, financial goals, right? Societal goals, tax goals, employee goals, but the economic objective or financial objective of the firm is to maximize the profit. So we are basically continuing your book example case study of Hungry Helen's Cookie Factory. So she basically left the job and opened her cookie factory. And now she want to decide that how much quantity I need to produce and how many workers I need to hire. So let's just talk about this. But before going to this one, let me open your mind regarding maximizing the profit. Here we go. Guys, I need your participation here. So what is the formula for profit? Profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. So in order to increase the profit, we have 2 ways. #1, either to increase the total revenue, right? Your profit will be higher, #1. #2, either you decrease the cost and your profit will be higher as well. So #1, increase sales or revenue. #2, decrease the total cost. So now you tell me, what is the formula for total revenue? Price into quantities sold. Right, everyone? And quantity sold will be dependent on demand. And what is demand? Ability and willingness. So my question is,